Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Fight Rundown. And I tell you what, it's Christmas time. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to play the Christmas tune. There we go. It's Christmas time. It's here. I say it's here. It's getting closer and closer by the day. We're on the 10th of December. I'm here with the Beast himself, Jesse Alopitan. How are we doing today, brother? How are we?
Thank you for having me. Like you said, it's getting closer to Christmas now, so I'm in the Christmas spirit.
Are you
Trying
are you a
to,
Christmas
trying to
guy?
wind down. You know what it is? Around Christmas, I only really do two things consistently. I train and I play Monopoly with my family. So
Trains and
I look
monopolies. I
forward
like
to
that.
playing yeah, that's it. So just training and Monopoly. So and I win every year. I win all my fights. So just keep
Undisputed
it going.
Monopoly champion every year.
Listen, I haven't lost yet, so it's looking 16 years in a row.
Can't lie, I've never won a board game in my life. That's a fun fact about myself. I feel like Monopoly takes ages.
Yeah,
I
it
feel like
does.
it's just one of those. You need the patience for it.
I've had 6 hour games before, 6, 7 hour games before.
It's a
Like
long
come back
slug.
to it after a while, yeah. But I'd
Yeah.
like to lose just so I can flip the table like everyone does, but I've never had the chance.
um. Just a little bit about yourself then, to get it straight off. Just how long have you been boxing? Where did the passion come from? All that sort of thing.
Mm. Um, what are we in now? 2024. So first put on a pair of gloves in 2018. Went to try a few different places, few different clubs, but didn't really get into it. Told my dad I wanted to do it. He was like, "Yeah, go ahead."
Yeah.
But I would say I started properly. Like a coach actually acknowledged me in 2019 January, and that's Sean Murphy, Finchley ABC, where I am now, still
Legend of the
fighting.
boxing game.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's brilliant. So, of course, Sean Murphy has had some great fighters and the amateurs. Of course, being Anthony Joshua being one of them. Have you had many
that's
interactions with AJ himself?
yeah. Before I even started boxing, there was a conversation I had with him. Like, what do you think? Obviously, I got into boxing at 22.
Yeah.
Always played sports. I got into boxing super late. I just couldn't do my previous sport anymore. Like the impact on my body was too much. I
Oh,
was playing
okay.
basketball before, yeah. I was
Basketball.
playing
Okay.
basketball. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I was playing basketball, but I had about 3 or 4 surgeries from basketball.
Really?
And I was just
Oh,
like, you
wow.
know what? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, man, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't want to give my opponents any tips, but my
Yeah. Well, no,
knees
of
are
course
shot
not.
to,
No. No.
yeah,
Yeah.
my
Can't
knees
let.
are shot to pieces. But I've done the rehab. I've done the rehab. Luckily for me, like touch wood, like my rehab always goes well. So I've
Yeah.
done knees, fingers have come out, and then
Wow.
after a while, I just said, you know what, yeah. So my dad sat me down. We spoke with Josh, and he was like, no one said it's. He's like, it's not going to be easy, but I promise you, if you stick to it and do it properly, the rewards are going to be amazing. And even as an amateur, I've not hit the peak of the peak, but even as an amateur, the door that's open for me has been crazy just from like working hard. I don't really market myself as this big bad XYZ, but just from like winning and staying in the gym, it's opened a lot of doors for me. Yeah.
100% agree with you there. I mean, what's the mindset like? Are you a big believer in manifesting success and how if you keep
Yeah.
saying it to yourself and keep believing in yourself, saying that you will make it, are you a big believer that
Yeah.
it will just eventually come?
100%. That's really the main thing I go on manifestation. I tell myself like, I mean, some people see it as like arrogance, but
Yeah,
I walk around telling myself like, these guys can't deal with me. As
you've
far as
got to.
manifestation, yeah. I mean, I write all my goals down for the
Oh,
year.
wow, yeah.
Boxing goals. Now update it. So I've got a week plan, I've got a month plan, I've got a year goals, and I've got a year finances. And I write it down every August, and I make sure I tick them all off. So, like for example, last year I got all them goals apart from one, ticked them all off, rubbed it off, start again.
That's
So,
great. That's brilliant, Nick. Honestly, it shows that you're focused and you're set on what you want to achieve. And
yeah.
speaking of that, is there any certain amateur goals that you'd like to achieve? What's the end goal for the amateurs, and is the goal in the end to go professional as well?
I need NECs. Like I proper let myself down this year,
Okay,
just gone. Yeah, I need the NECs. I'm gonna turn pro. Like I think it's only a given. I think I'm not saying I've got the craziest skill set because the heavyweight scene, especially domestically, is very like like there's a lot of guys there now.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't just be like, I'm gonna turn pro and just be like another guy that you could just reel off a bunch of names. I want to turn pro and then they say, you know what, I remember him
yeah,
in the amateurs. His game is gonna translate. And there's just a few parts of my game that aren't it's still very amateur style, like cruise through the rounds, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying, win convincingly. Like my opponent's not it's I would say it's one of my downfalls, but if my opponent's not a threat, I'm not really like exerting myself too much.
Yeah,
So my coaches are quite honest with me. Like they'll be like, you'll be a good pro when you get that instinct of no overtime. Get him out of there, get him gone.
100%. Yeah,
And I can be honest with myself, that's what I've spent the past 2 months doing. I just sitting on my punches, second, third phase attack, really digging. I consider myself a good body puncher, but
yeah.
finishing up top. And then yeah, once that's clicking in my coach, like you've got it now, we're good to go.
Yeah, it's, of course, when you first make that jump as a professional, it can be quite difficult if you're looking to get your experience with journeymen, for example. You know,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
coming there and their job is to survive, and it can be
yeah,
hard to get
yeah.
your shots off, but that would be great. It's great learning, isn't it,
Mm.
um, for your first couple fights? Um, what?
I feel like sorry,
Sorry, no. Oh, go ahead, mate. Go ahead.
no. I feel like recently, I don't know if it's just me that's noticed, but a lot of the journeymen nowadays, they fancy their chances. Like
Yeah,
they're
hundred
coming,
percent.
if they smell blood in the water, they're like, you know what,
Yeah,
I can do an upset here. And it feels like it's more common than back in the day. So
yeah.
I'm not trying to have that happen to me. Like once I get in there, I want to get him out of there. I don't want to be like, oh, what happened? This style didn't translate from that. No, no,
Yeah,
no, no. I
I
want to
just
do
want
my
to
job.
say quickly, shout out to a local journeyman who we've got here in Grimsby, Tommy the Test Ramsden, who is picking up. I see him picking up some serious wins as well. Um, yeah. So what I wanted to get at, just jumping backwards a little bit back to the amateurs. Is there any
Mm.
wins that really stand out for you, or any titles, for example, any big nights for yourself that you remember? What you think? Yeah, this is my best.
It'd probably be the Haringey, not this year, last year.
Yeah.
I think because I had a year out the ring with another knee surgery during COVID. So
All
I
right.
came back, had 2 bouts, and then my coaches were just like, "Nah, it's not working. You can't bend your knees when you're shot, so it's
Yeah.
pointless kind of thing."
Yeah.
So I had to go do my rehab. I came back, and then we had one of my teammates, Toby Lawal. He joined from another club, and he's just gone through and just won the developments. He's
Okay.
won
Yeah.
these titles, and I'm like, I've been at Finchley so long, I've not even been entered into this. So I kind of like woke up something in my head. So the coaches were like, if you want to do it, we're going to enter you in X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. So I remember I had
Yeah.
the London Box Cup and the Haringey Box Cup a week apart. So I fought 5 times in 7 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, just won them, bang, bang, and then went to the Haringey. First time doing 3 days of 3 minutes. First fight was against Joe Bourne. Fucking hell,
I know
couldn't have
Joey
picked a
Ball
tough.
myself. Yeah.
Oh
He's
my
a.
god,
He seems like a handful.
yeah, couldn't have picked a tougher fight on the first day.
Yeah.
And I got cut. We had a head clash in the first like 20
Oh
seconds.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I've never been cut, so having the blood going in my eye was
Oh,
confusing. I
okay.
was like,
What
"What's?"
was running through your head at that moment then? If when you get your first cut?
So I didn't realize I was cut. I would say I knew I was a bit like, "Whoa, like what's going on?" If you see the
Yeah.
video, I'm kind of like, "What the hell?" So I started pouring at it, and then I heard my mate. So luckily for me, I can hear it outside the ring, and I heard my mate shouting, "Is he bleeding? Is he bleeding?" And I'm looking at Joe. I'm like, "Joe's not bleeding."
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's going on? And then the ref now goes, time. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck sake. No, not me. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I can cuss.
Oh,
And then,
oh, you're allowed to do anything here,
yeah.
bro. Don't worry about it.
So the ref has now gone to Joe, go to the neutral corner. I've tried to walk to the neutral corner. He's like, no, not you. Come here. And I'm like, nah, man, this is a joke. So he's called the doctor over. The doctor's looking at me, looking at the ref. And I'm going to my coach Sean. Am I cut trying to act oblivious? Like, oh, I
Mm,
don't even feel like I'm cut.
yeah.
And the ref looks at me and goes, continue. I'm like, oh, and then
Yeah.
from there, me and Joe have gone back to the mirror, just like crashing out. So I had to go through him, and then my coach coming and saying, you know what, yeah, that was your final, like kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
you're
I
not gonna
see what
get
you mean.
tougher than
Yeah.
him. Yeah, and then I think that just gave me confidence because I know Joe was like a lot of knockouts as well. So yeah, made it through that. Got the other win, then fought an Irish opponent. Um, Willie John McCartan in the final, and that was a good fight. I think I really showcased like my hand speed, head movement in that fight. And then yeah, just like that, the buzz just like
Yeah.
everyone was like, "Damn, yeah, he's got quick hands, quick feet." So
Yeah, yeah.
that
How
was
how
good.
many was that? Was that, did you say that was 5 fights in 7 days? Did you say?
Yeah, yeah. I had the
Yeah.
Capital Cup before, and then the Haringey 3 days.
Oh, okay. So, how was what is what I'm trying to say is how do you prepare for something like that? Is there anything you can that actually prepares you, or do you think that's a lot of a mental game there?
I think I think it's like I think if it wasn't for having the Capital Cup the week before, I
Yeah,
wouldn't have fought as well in the Haringey because my
yeah,
last fight before that was in so them tournaments were in June. My last fight before that were in March. And as a heavyweight, I mean, as a heavyweight, sparring's not always easy to come by, and too much heavy sparring is never a good thing. So
yeah,
your experience to stay sharp is like bouts. And I mean, if you fight heavyweight, you know, pullouts happen all the time. Someone's injured something, someone can't do something. So I like to fight often. Got that fight out 3, 4 months ago, and I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling it. And then I don't know if you remember last year summer, it was just boiling hot,
yeah,
like
yeah,
ridiculously hot.
mm,
So we're like the first box cup, it was a day, it was like 38 degrees or whatnot, 36 degrees. Sweating on my ass, have to warm up in just my boxers, like sweating on my ass. I'm dead. The whole week I'm dead. I'm like, I
yeah,
can't do this. And then we get to the day, and I just remember my coach is saying, "It's real now. You're here. Wake up."
mm,
And once I got the first fight out with Joe, they're like, "You're always better on the second day." I
yeah.
was terrible on the second day, but I was better on the third day. The second day we don't talk. I was terrible on the second day. Oh my god! I think that was my first and only split decision win. Yeah,
Split
that
decision.
was
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
well, what I was going to say about obviously having someone like Sean in your corner.
yeah.
What is that like? You know, having someone with such great knowledge, like I said, people like Joshua, who he is coached himself. What's that like? Is it comforting having someone like that in your corner?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't really attribute it because I haven't worked with many coaches. I've only really worked with Sean Murphy and Gary Foley from Finchley,
Yeah,
and other coaches like Liam. But the thing is, I know that you just think I know in the pro game, it's like a coach has a style, and the coach wants you to box like that kind of thing. Sean understands that not every style works for every fighter. He finds out what works for you, and he's like, do that, but do it better.
yeah,
So like I was very like, and the thing is, because I started boxing so late, I was watching a lot of pro boxers to start off with. I wasn't seasoned, so I wanted to fight like hands down, moving my head, and I'm not realizing that these guys weigh 50 kilos, so it's not
yeah,
working for me. And he's like,
mm,
listen, he's like, if you're gonna put your hands lower, move your head and your feet. I was doing that, and I was like, it's getting tiring. He's like, exactly, put your fucking hands up, and I was like, all right, cool, fair enough, it works. So he's very like he never tried to change me completely, but he said if you're gonna do something, do it exactly how it's meant to be done. And then that's how we've just been building from there. And people have just seen my game has taken leaps and bounds. And he's quite a vocal coach as well. Like when I'm fighting, I can hear him clear as day.
yeah,
And even when I'm fighting, if you're ever close enough to the ring, you'll hear me saying, "Okay, Sean, all right, cool, Sean, I heard you. I heard, no worries, I'll do it." Because he doesn't shout. He's just like, "Wake up now." He's like, "Finish on the backhand." He's like, "Get out of there after," and it's like very calm, but it's like I know he sees everything. I
yeah.
just trust him. So
It's a
yeah, it works.
boxing for a little bit. Well, it's a famous club, certainly in England as Finchley ABC. Does
Mm.
that put any weight on your shoulders, or are you just you're just Jesse when you're in there? It's just you.
Yeah, I think yeah, I've heard it, and then obviously you hear all the stuff about like if it's finished, like we sometimes we think the refs are doing us over a bit,
Yeah,
but I'm quite lucky in a sense that I've like consistently been winning, and I would say
aura.
yeah, yeah, the pressure's on me. Like if I ever have a bad performance, I always say like that's on me. Like I'm Jesse at the
Yeah,
end of the day. I had a job to do, but when I win, it's like I'm Finchley ABC. Like my sparring partners, my coaches, the like Tracy, our matchmaker, like that's everyone played a part in getting that win. But if
yeah.
it's a bad performance, Jesse's the one that done that. Don't look at no one else from Finchley. Like I've fucked that up. So
I like that a lot, mate, to be honest. I love that mindset. And so we'll just talk briefly about, because of course you're going to turn professional at some point. It's
yeah.
inevitable. I will talk about that domestic scene a little bit. What are your thoughts on So you got Johnny Fisher, Moses Ituama,
Mm,
all these young lads that are coming up and making a
mm,
name for themselves. Um,
mm,
of course, fighting on huge cards now as well. Of course, Johnny Fisher
mm.
fighting Dave Allen. We'll start with Johnny Fisher. What's your thoughts on someone like him who with not much experience and getting in there and already headlining the likes of the Copper Box?
Yeah, I think to be honest, yeah, I didn't know about because I'm quite late in the game, so I only found out about Johnny Fisher when he was really on Matchroom, and I
Yeah,
didn't know about him as amateur. But something I like about him is you just see the progression.
yeah,
Like people don't realize, like you don't have to go like all the way to the highest level seasons. You can learn on the job.
yeah,
Like at the end of the day, it's a fighting man sport. If you've got the heart and the will to fight, you can learn certain stuff. You can't might not become a world beater, but you can learn on the job, and he's
yeah,
learned on the job. From his first fight to like Alan Babbage, I was like, damn.
yeah,
Like his punch, people think he just blasted out Alan Babbage, but the punch selection was amazing. He
yeah,
landed all them shots, like they were good whipping shots. Like so, I really respect like his journey progression. Haven't had the pleasure of sharing the ring with him yet. He's not far, like he's in Romford, I believe. I know he's sparred a few people, I haven't shared the ring with him,
yeah.
but I respect everything he's doing, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and oh, speaking on that, the younger side, the younger up and coming prospects in England, how
Mm,
good is Moses Itomo? I mean, we rave about Moses all the time on the
definitely.
pod. We've met him once before, and you
Yeah.
I talk about aura all the time. You could feel the aura of Moses Itomo
Yeah,
around
yeah.
you. So, how good actually is he?
No, he's unreal. He's unreal. I've only met him a handful of times. Not had conversations with him. I think I've met him at a few shows and said, "You're right, mate." But
Yeah,
only one time I've seen him like spar,
yeah,
and I'm like, you know, like it was so funny. Like we always talk about aura. It's like everyone
yeah,
outside the ring was looking,
yeah,
and I just looked at my coach like, "You can't be serious." And then he's like, "He's a baby." I'm
yeah,
like, "Nah,
yeah.
this guy is different." Most stoic like face ever, just like
Oh yeah,
above like
unbothered.
his
Yeah,
weight is yeah, just normal. He's finished his rounds. And I'll tell you the funny story about this. I won't say who was sparring, but he's got out of the ring.
yeah.
There's a minute in between. He's got out of the ring, taken off his head guard, changed his into his tracksuit, and put on his sliders all before the minute finished.
Really?
Hair is still
Yeah,
got the lines in it from the head
yeah,
guard, and he's
yeah.
just standing there like, and I'm like, this guy is mad. Like he just came through his job and he was out of there.
Yeah, just
It was
different. Just
crazy.
in and
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was mad.
Let's talk about sparring a little bit because, of course, there's a lot of opportunities for people like yourself to get some great sparring.
Hmm.
If you just want to name drop just some of the fighters that you have been managed to get some sparring in with.
Um, at the top level, it would be AJ, Dubois,
Wow.
Riakporhe. Recently, just on Thursday, sparred Chris Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else? I've had some other pros. I've been in with also, so along with them, I was in with Ergul from IQ Boxing. He just had his fight. I think he's a 3-0 pro now.
Yeah.
So I've had like sparring across the board, and then with amateurs, I've had quite a few good sparrings.
What's AJ like to
Currently,
spar with?
you know what? Yeah, that was about 4 years ago
Yeah.
now, and it was like we shared the ring a few times, technical rounds, and then one proper round. I say proper round, but I'm pretty sure he was like, "Let me not kill this guy." But I think one thing I remember is he's hit me with a left hook
All right.
about 3 times. Yeah, like 3 times on the arm,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "All right, like." Yeah, I was so ignorant. I was like, "My guard is pretty like good." Like,
Mm.
damn. And then that must have been first round. By the third or fourth round, I was like saying to my coach, he must have broken my arm. Like he must have broken my arm because I can't keep the hand up. And
Yeah.
he was just teeing up with jabs, bow, bow, bow. And his power is like it just knocks the senses out of you, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think back then when I was sparring, I was quite ignorant. I was like, hands were a bit low, chin was a bit exposed. But I'll tell you what, once that arm went, I just tucked up and I was like, I don't really want to let my hands go. And then it was a great learning experience because I was like, even the ones you take on the gloves of your arm, they're not good punches to take as a
No.
heavyweight. Yeah,
No, absolutely not.
got
And
to.
you just mentioned recently sparring Chris Smith. Um,
Mm-hmm.
of course, when it comes to cruiserweights, where does he rank for you? Where does he rank for you as the best? Do you think he could move up? Do you think he's a little bit small to move up in weight, or
Now, you know what? When I stood next to him, I thought to myself, how the hell do you make? He looks, because I took a picture with him, and even
yeah?
everyone in the picture was like, bro, he looks the same. I was like, I'm telling you, he looked like massive.
Oh, really? Wow.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And you know what? For me, I'm like, if you can make the weight, you've done the job, like, make
yeah,
the weight. I don't believe in weight bullies. You've done what you had to do. You've put yourself through that sacrifice to make the
yeah,
weight, so no one can tell you what you can get. He makes the weight, but he's a big guy.
yeah. It must be
Big,
coming in quite
big.
heavy on fight night then.
Whoa, I was like, nah. Like even when he took off his shirt, I was like, bro, like I
Yeah,
consider myself quite a big guy, but he's a big guy still. But yeah, sparring him was like a different. I was just thinking, whoa, he looks completely different from he looks how he looks on TV.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I think
um,
because he's fought some rugged guys,
yeah,
so he's had to make it a bit rugged. I think not that I was a bit like oblivious, but I thought he's gonna try and be rugged with me, and I forget that these guys are like world level fighters. They're very technical as well. Like he's gonna come in, his technique, his shape. I said to my coach, I said that's one of the best boxing shapes I've ever seen in my life.
wow, yeah.
In and out the ring, yeah, easily.
Yeah, so I see you in the weight room as well.
Yeah.
At the moment, of course, along with your boxing. So, how important is strength and getting that strength in the weight room for
Mm.
boxing? And how does it translate into good boxing? Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'd say about 2 years ago, I stopped doing the bicep curls, back extension, whatever it may be,
Yeah,
and I only do squat, bench, deadlift now, and
all
power
the
movements.
legs.
So I do like, yeah, and it's just
Yeah,
because I've had so many surgeries on my lower body, I just feel like, and obviously I've got, don't want to give too much away, but yeah, I'm trying to build that solid base because
yeah, of
when when
course.
you sit down on your punches, when your legs are strong, you know about it.
Yeah,
So I'm really just trying to get that strong base, and that's all I do. Squat, bench. I don't even bench no more because I don't want to mash on my shoulders. So I squat and deadlift twice or 3 times a week. Do some pull-ups, and I'm good. Apart from that, it's just the normal bag work and the push-ups, pull-ups, medicine ball throws. That's it.
a lot of core strength work, a lot of leg work, that sort
Yeah,
of thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very smart. And of course, Usyk versus Fury 2, sorry, is around the corner now. What are your
Mhm.
predictions for that fight?
I mean, for me, Usyk is the boogeyman. I can't see.
I agree. Yeah.
Everyone says, "Oh, like hurt him to the body." Many have tried. Like it's not like people haven't tried. Many have tried.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say, "Oh, if we just focus on the body." I mean, it's ridiculous to assume a guy like that when we have a plan B. If you do go to the body, but one thing I'll say is, as much as you take away from like Fury with everything he's done, that guy knows how to turn stuff around.
Yeah.
You can't keep the guy down. You cannot keep that guy down. And I think if you Fury beats him on um in a few weeks, that is the number one of this generation. You can't. He's
Yeah.
knocked off two boogeymen. He's knocked off Klitschko. He's knocked off no three boogeymen. Klitschko, Wilder, and you can't
Yeah.
talk to him no more.
Yeah.
You can't
Do
talk
you,
to him no more.
however,
That's
devil's
it.
advocate though here, do you think that um, because of the amount of times he's had to get up off the canvas, do you think that's going to affect him in a negative way to the fact where he can't take as much punishment, or do you think or do you think Fury just is that guy who can take the punishment, and he
He's
just is that
no.
he just
He's
can?
got God given powers of recovery. He was out
Yeah,
on his feet. He was gone. He was gone.
yeah,
And you know what? Yeah, I don't know if God intervened that stopped the ref from like stopping that fight, but he made it to the end. Like
yeah,
Wilder's had him gone. He's got powers of recovery I've never seen. And everyone can say, oh, his chin is this, his chin is that, his chin is that. No one's kept him down.
very
So if
true.
you're saying his chin is that, what are we saying about these guys' power? Because other heavyweights get blasted out. No
Yeah,
one has kept that guy down. Like his heart is different level. But yeah, for me, if he wins, if he managed to win that, that's the best heavyweight we've seen in 20 plus years.
definitely.
Klitschko, Wilder, and Usyk, that's a big brief to knock off.
Yeah, 100%. And who just quickly then, who is your greatest heavyweight of all time? Personally, I've got Lennox Lewis as the best heavyweight of all time, but who's yours?
As far as like, okay, I'll be honest. As far as like the resume and the fighting styles and stuff go, I have not done my research on the heavyweights. I'll own up. Like, I saw like one or two of Lennox Lewis fights, and I just know he
Yeah,
had a very good jab. And when he put
yeah,
the right hand on you, it was good. And my coaches always say, watch him, like, learn how he whips the jab so
yeah.
loosely. My favorite heavyweight has to be Evander Holyfield,
I love Holyfield
and
as
that's
well.
just
Yeah, it's a great shout.
and it's just because of how he was always throwing while bouncing on his feet. Like he's
Yeah,
bouncing forward while my favorite fight is him on Riddick Bowe. What a war. Like
yeah,
that's
yeah. I was
Holyfield and Riddick
literally,
Bowe.
literally saying to Jeeve earlier,
Yeah,
my co-host is saying I can watch them fights over and over again with Riddick Bowe. No, two of my favorite fighters
honestly.
right there.
Riddick Bowe as well, different
Yeah,
level. Like that kind of technical boxing. You put him in this day and age, he's blasting guys up.
yeah,
But yeah, Riddick Bowe was just solid. Everything was tight. And then you had Holyfield, power, power. But because
yeah.
my favorite fight ever is like Hagler, he
So
kind
is
of reminds
mine
me like
actually
of
as well, and mine
yeah,
as
he
well.
kind of
Yeah,
reminds me of Hagler. So it's just like
yeah.
pop, 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 pop. Oh man, yeah, no. I'd say for me, that's my greatest heavyweight. Just he's had the mix of it, the power, the athleticism, the stamina, the heart. To take them punches from Riddick Bowe and carry on getting up was tough.
Yeah, well, it's been really fun talking to you, mate. Really enjoyed it. I'll just get the
Thank
Christmas
you.
music on 1 second, lean over to the other side of the table. There we go. If you're not following already, make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Fight Rundown. You can follow us on TikTok, subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you want to find us, you can. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Deezer. You can even say on your Alexa, play The Fight Rundown, and we will play. Top man, Jesse, where can I find you on Instagram?
On socials, it's at Jesse Olupitson. That's on most socials. That's all I really use. Yeah, I'm sure if you search my name on YouTube, you see a few fights. But yeah, thank you for having me, man. I really
No,
enjoyed that.
thank you very much. Really enjoyed it. And if you're looking to root for someone in the future, Jesse's your guy, 100%. And best of luck for the future, man. Have a great Christmas.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you,
Cheers.
bro. We'll see you very soon.
Have a good one.